Hey folks, Russ Bailey here. It's time for another BrushPile Fishing, the video podcast. As always, we've got a great show in store. Ben Grumbles is going to join us. Ben is on our pro staff, but he's also our go-to guy when it comes to rigging our boat. So you stay tuned. We'll be right back with BrushPile Fishing, the video podcast. Folks, welcome back. I'd like to thank Bob Cycle down in Sydney, Ohio, for bringing you today's podcast. And like I said earlier, our guest today, Ben Grumbles. Ben, how we doing?
Doing great. How you doing, Russ?
Good. You know, folks, we just got off the water. We are in the middle of September, and it is hotter than you know what out here. Called for temperatures between 87 and 90. Ben, when we got on the water, we're here at Mississinawa. And when we got on the water this morning, the bite was pretty good, not crazy good like you had this week, which we'll talk about here in a minute. But as that heat come up, we were fishing 5 foot of water. It made the bite tough.
Sure did. Yeah. It's part of it. We could see kind of the fish shifting as the sun came up. Instead of being a round structure, literally going up and underneath it and hiding from the heat waves. And it's just part of fishing.
Absolutely. Now, Ben, you were here just last Saturday, and you actually won the Indiana Slab Masters tournament here on Mississinawa. This time of year, and again, normally we're a little bit cooler, but it's been hot. But just 1 week ago, you said the bite was phenomenal. What are you doing this time of year here?
Well, really, it's just about finding the fish are moving in groups typically. That's what my experience is on this body of water. So, like we saw on tournament day, there was a mile stretch of maybe even less, like a half-mile stretch of river where the fish were just congregating.
Mm-hmm.
And anywhere there was shade, there were fish. And so overhanging trees, big laydowns, anything that provided relief, you could go a half mile down the river and not find a crappie, or a half mile up the river and not find a crappie. And kind of what goes in line with what we saw today. Here we are a handful of days later, and the fish have moved in some part. So they're on this river system, right? We just don't know after today exactly where. We got enough of them to know they're close,
mm-hmm.
But they seem to be moving right now in pockets like that. In the main lake, you can find them. They're going to be down deeper on structure. They're congregating around foundations and concrete slabs that you'll see all over the lake. But this is where we found our bigger fish and the consistent fish this weekend, so we were grateful for it.
Well, and the fish we caught today were nice, cleaner fish. No one's going to complain about those. You know, one of the things that we've always talked about, even back in my Midwest crappie days of brush pile, is being versatile when you're on the water. And today, we had to do that. We started out with a bigger profile rubber bait or plastic bait. And in the morning, the bite was pretty good on it. I'm not going to say it's fantastic, but it was good on it. But as that sun came overhead, we had no wind today at all. I mean, it was beaten down. And you downsized more even to a Popeye jig, which, folks, if you've never used a Popeye, check that out. It is a very slender profile hair jig. And that bait has bailed us out of shows a couple of times. Today, when that bite shut off, you went to that. You started catching a few again, but even at the end of the day, they wouldn't even hit that. I mean, something has affected these fish between last week and today.
Sure. And I think leading into last week, we had heat. It wasn't as extreme. So we were just on the front end of that pattern, right?
Yeah.
And now we're in the middle of it.
Yeah.
Because you got a couple more days before it starts dropping off again. And so, like I said, those fish are trying to figure out what they're going to do, and they're moving together. That's the good thing about crappie. If you find it patterns, you can catch it. And so I think that the heat has just caught up to the river and to the reservoir, and it's been so consistent. I mean, if you look at the bank, look right here, you can see where it's muddy still another foot up. So the water has gone down just in a few days that much.
Yeah.
If you've seen your ponds around your neighborhoods and such, the rocks and the banks are coming out. So, that changes things for those fish, the oxygen levels and things of that nature.
And I might point out, folks, I don't have a big ego, so let me just tell you, I was the stubborn one and stayed with the big plastic and didn't go to the Popeye. Ben put a kind of a bow of it on me today. in tough conditions too. So, but no, it was fun. And Ben, the other thing I want to talk about is you being a veteran. And can you tell the folks where you served? And
Yeah, I was an infantryman in the Army. I was stationed the full tour that I had out at Fort Lewis, Washington, out in Washington State, beautiful country. And now it's Joint Base Lewis McChord. I believe they've combined with McChord Air Force Base there, so it's one giant base. But yep, I've got out in 2003 and tried to continue serving any way I can. So active in a nonprofit called Flags for Fallen Military. And we put flagpoles up for Gold Star families that lose loved ones in service to country. Just did a Veterans Memorial dedication in where I was a former elected official in Lewis Center, Ohio. Gigantic Veterans Memorial, absolutely beautiful. And Flags for Fallen Military donated all the $20,000-$30,000 in flagpoles for that. It is a beautiful sight, especially at night, all lit up. And then, of course, met you all, 5 years ago, I think now, as we were getting ready to launch the Veterans Tournament there at first in Delaware and now in Elm Creek, and was elected official. And BrushPile reached out, needed help with the local town, and fell in love with the BrushPile family. And then, of course, been fishing my whole life, and it just was a matter of time before I got the crappie bug, and here we are.
Yep. And folks, I want to talk about, because I think this will air right before our Veterans Tournament this year, October 5th on Alum Creek again this year. And folks, this year we're switching things up. We normally give the money or the proceeds to the Travis Mills Foundation. This year we're going with an organization called Face the Fight, and they deal with all the problems involved with veteran suicide. And the more that we looked into their organization, we thought, there's where we'd really like to help this year. And so, Ben, you've been there for our tournaments. Folks, get out there. It doesn't matter if you are top of the list or you finish last place. Everyone wins in this tournament. Nobody cares where they place in this tournament. It's the greater cause. And me and you've talked a lot. There's nothing I like more than anything we can do for our veterans.
You don't mention it a lot, but you're a veteran too, and so I'm grateful for every veteran that served and contributed to the country. So thank you as well. And the tournament is just fantastic. I had no idea going into the first year what to expect, and was completely blown away. Had the Ohio Crappie Club invite me to fish in their series with them, and befriended me. And that's really crappie fishing.
Mm-hmm.
It's such a great community and really a family environment. But the door prizes, the fish fry that Greg Rutschilling puts on, it's a couple of days. There's no way you'll regret it.
Yeah.
It doesn't matter. It doesn't matter to your point where you finish. It's just a beautiful event. It's a lot of fun, executed well, and great place to be.
Folks, you need to get there. We have the captain's meeting on Friday night, October 4th. That'll be in Delaware at the VFW. And like he says, we have the big fish fry. That's completely free. When you get off the water Saturday, we'll have someone there with sandwiches, barbecue, whatever. You're going to eat good there. We're going to take care of you. We just want you to get out there, participate for this great cause. And now, Ben, I do want to throw one thing in there, okay?
Yes, sir.
You talked about the Army base and that Air Force base coming together. I think they needed someone with the brains to lead, and that's why they went to the Air Force.
I don't know if that's it or not, and to have somebody that can do work.
And that's why they went with the Army.
No argument. To bring some guys over that don't sit in the chair all day.
And folks, for you non-military, this is what we talk.
Yeah.
We all talk smack about each other.
If we had Marine in the boat, we'd be talking about hiding the crowns. So, it's just the way it goes, and it's all in love.
It is.
They've all got their jack. The Marines camp, right? They're men. They camp. They don't hang out in forts. And so I've heard it all.
Oh yeah.
At the end of the day, everybody signed up to serve, and that's what matters, right? Something bigger than yourself.
Folks, get out there. You can check all that information out on our BrushPile website. It's just brushpilefishing.com. There'll be a section right there for the tournament. Click on that. You can actually get signed up. And Ben, before we cut it out, I want to put you on the spot here. I've talked about you are a rigging guy that we go to. Even though it's 90 degrees today, it's going to start getting cooler. And here in Indiana and Ohio, we're going to have winter weather coming up. A lot of guys are going to winterize their boat. What's some things they definitely want to do before they store that boat?
Main thing when it starts getting cold that you want to do is make sure that your drain plug is out. And when you're leaving the boat ramp for that last trip, or if you're out fishing in cold weather, every ramp's inclined to some extent. It's usually less crowded. It's a great time to pull your plug and park on that incline and really shake out all that water that's migrated throughout your boat through the season. That's number one. Now, number two is you got to figure the lower unit in your motor is just like your boat. There's a good chance if you have a seal leaking or a loose screw somewhere, a drain plug, whatever, you could have water develop in that and seep it into your lower unit. This, of course, is on an outboard motor. So flushing out that lower unit fluid, that gear oil, I can't overstate how important it is. It's cheap, it's quick. Anyone can do that, and you get a look at your fluid to see if it's white, if it's got milky color to it, if there's metal in it, and that's a sign that you might need to get into a marina and get some more intensive work done. You can always change your oil at the top of your four-stroke oil, your filter. Those are all quick changes that anybody that's worked on a car or whatever, you can pretty much figure out. Same with the spark plugs, things of that nature. But always just recommend getting as much of the fluid out as possible. If you're going to cover your boat and store it, mothballs are great. Anything that you can think of to keep raccoons and critters out, especially they'll do a lot of damage to a boat.
Oh, yes.
We at our arena, I mean, we would find raccoon nests, completely, the baby raccoons, everything in there. So make sure it's secure. If there's a marina around you that does wrapping, you can have your boat shrink wrapped and store it nice and secure. So just a few tips.
The last thing I want to talk about, folks, is we've got our academy coming up here at the end of October. We're going to be back at Green River Lake. And once again, the academy is sold out. And I know you're going to be at this one, Ben.
Yes, sir.
Folks, if you've never been to one of the academies, don't take our word for it. Contact someone you know that's went there as a student and see what their experience was like. This one is already sold out. We limited to 12 people, and we will be opening up next spring, which will be back on Dale Hollow. That'll be opening up soon, but we fully expect it to sell out also. Again, you can get all that information on the BrushPile website. It is a super time. We have different instructors from different parts of the country come in and talk about different subjects. Steve Coleman has been to every one as an instructor. He'll be back. Ken Driscoll. We just have so many, Crappie Kirby, so many good instructors in this thing. You want to give this a chance. And I'll tell you what, the food and the lodging at Green River Lake, you will not be disappointed. It's just a great experience for them all. And again, just like you and I were talking about on the water today, learning some of these things, getting out on the water is great, but it's the friendships that I've seen develop from our academy. It goes on, and there's nothing better.
Joey and Kelly that run the Holmes Bend Marina down at Green River. So I met them a couple of years ago and was so impressed at one of our academy-like events, the media camps and such. I took my whole family down and befriended them, their staff, everybody. We've been friends now for a couple of years, and I'm actually building him a walnut table right now. But that's just goes to show you, I've stayed at the cabins with my family, been back down. It's a beautiful, beautiful area. They are just phenomenal group. Their staff is great. They feed you. They'll take care of you. You don't have a need in the world if you go down there.
Holmes Bend Marina, you definitely need to check that out. Well, Ben, I appreciate you joining us.
Absolutely. Thanks for having me.
Yep. Folks, I hope you enjoyed today's video podcast here on BrushPile Fishing. Stay tuned as always. We'll be back with another one soon.